Okay, so this video is for beginners who are struggling to transition from chord to chord. So say you're doing an E and you go into D, it might be something really slow like this, and then you strum. So if you find that you're doing something like this, then I'm going to just come up with some ways to help you minimize the gap in between here and give you a process to actually change a lot quicker. Alright, so we're going to look at two chords first. We're going to look at a D and an E. Tell you what, let's look at the E first. So put your first finger on the third string up and put these two fingers on the fourth and fifth string and just strum that. Okay, just a single strum. And what we're going to do is, to get to the D, we're going to take these two off. So you're left with this. You're going to move it over to the second fret. Put your second finger down at the bottom and then your third finger there, and that'll get you the D. So what we're going to do is we're just going to do the first two parts of that change. So the E, get in the E position, strum it, take this off, move that over and put this finger down here. So yeah, the first three parts of that. So we're not going to bother about the third finger because it can be troublesome, the third finger. So let's just try and get to this stage without the third finger, and then we're going to put it on. So E, take them off, slide that over, put this at the bottom. Let's do that again. E, take them off, slide that over, put that at the bottom. Now what I want to do is, I want to, when I slide this over, I'm going to put that on at the same time. So this second finger. So I'm not sliding and placing this on now. I'm going to slide and place that on at the same time. Okay, so instead of sliding, putting that on, I'm going to slide and place that on at the same time. So you can see we're stacking up the ability to place the chord on straight away instead of individual fingers. So look, E, take them off, we're going to slide and place that on straight away. Okay, let's do that again. Take them off, slide, place straight away. Okay, so let's stack on the next finger. So we're going to take them off, put them two on, and now your third finger, and give that a strum. Okay, so to get back to the E, you take these two fingers off, put that back, and then put them two there. This might seem a bit long-winded, but it's just getting you to analyse exactly what's happening here. E, take them off, so place them together, and then put your third finger on. Get back to E, so move that down. Take them off, place them together, and then put your third finger on. Now if you can do that, say 5 times, so take that off, put them together, then your third. So if you can do that 5 times, then what you can start to do is, when you slide this over and put that on, you can start to slide it over, put that on, and the third finger together. So you've sort of like trained your fingers individually, and now these two are trained, then you can just focus on the third finger rather than thinking of all fingers together, which could sound a bit confusing. So what's this? Now I'm going to move it over and put both them fingers on there, and you can start to see. One thing I did notice in my playing, I've never really looked at it because I've played since like the age of 10, is I watched some videos back and I noticed that I actually make the chord before I make impact. So this little tip is going to help you with that, and it's something you can do. Say you're in the office or you're going on a car journey and you've not got your guitar, you can actually start to make the shapes of the chords in thin air. And it sounds easier than saying that, but to give your fingers separation to be in specific areas is quite tricky. It's very hard. So like holding positions like that, and then a D shape, you know, you got to get this one down there, this one's in the middle of them two. So it's kind of detailed to do that, but it is good once you know the shapes to be able to get the shape and then place it on in one. And that's basically what I've just showed you to do there, but in a more broke down way. So you should, after this exercise of placing all them together, you should be able to hold your hand in, say, like this D position like that. And eventually, because what you want is you've got an upstroke and to a downstroke, which is like a split of a second. So you want to make a change. So if I go down, up, down, so it's in a very split second. That was very slow as well, that you've got to make that change. So they've all got to go together. So E to D. And then to get to E, we're going to take these two off, and we're going to make this change together, so moving it back while placing that on. Okay, so get to D, take these two off, move, first step's moving it back, so moving it back, move back, and then place these two on. Just get to the D again, take these two off, move back, and place these on. Now this time when we move back, we want to be placing them on at the same time as moving back. Okay, so D, get your D on, take them two off, sliding back and placing them two on. So you can see by the time I get to here, I've got my chord. Now, I would practice moving from D to E. If you're finding this hard, then you don't want to jump onto the next 6 chords and work on them. I would just think 1 week of your life to master how to change. You're not just learning 2 chords, you're learning how to change. So don't think of it as like, oh, that's only practicing 2 chords. It's not, because this process, I'm going to show you another set of chords now, and we'll do the same process. Actually, a nice easy one would be an A minor to E. So let's work on the A minor. First finger on the 2nd string there. These 2 fingers in the middle. Alright, now you can see the E minor. It's these 2 notes, but you're actually just moving them up a string. So watch this. Take your first finger off and move them 2 up. So this is actually a hell of a lot easier than the last one, so this will seem super easy. So you're placing them down to their middle strings, and then put your first finger on the 2nd string on the 1st fret. So taking that off and putting that up there, moving it down and putting your first finger on. So that's the first process. We split it into 2. So from the E minor, might be better going from there, we're going to move that down and place this first finger on, and then you take it off and move that up. So to get to the A minor, we've done down and finger on. So now we're going to place down, but at the same time put that first finger on, if you can see there. So I'll just do it so you can see me fully. So what's this? There, I'm moving down, and then you place the finger on. Maybe do that 10 times. So moving down, place the finger on. So this time I'm moving down and placing the finger on at the same time, this first finger. Move it down, place the first finger on. There you go. Now put a little 4 strums to that, just down strums. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. Don't matter, there's a tiny little pause there while you're doing it. Really, we want to get rid of this. Them size pauses. If you are getting them size pauses, you need to really slow it down, because anyone could go and then a big change. So you really got to get it in context. So if your change is slow, your strumming's got to be slow, and you better get it all sounding nice and in time without any pauses, nice and slow, and then you'll find that easy to speed up then, because you've learnt the right technique for the change. So watch, 1, 2. There's no shame in going this slow and then down, and then back up to the E minor. I'll put the chords on so you can do this at the same time. So from the E minor we're going to go, so 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, then down, put your first finger on, 1, 2, 3, back up to the E minor, just then 2 fingers, and down. Okay, so let's have a look at another chord sequence. Yeah, you might play an A to a G, that's quite popular. So an A is your first 3 fingers there, stacked up. So your first finger's on the 4th string, then the 2nd, then the 3rd. Strum that, get used to that. And then your G, most people are familiar with this. So your first finger on the 5th string, 2nd up there at the top, 3rd down at the bottom. You might be used to playing it with 2 fingers here. Sounds a bit fuller. So A. Your first step is going to be your first finger here, 2nd one here, and your 3rd there. Let's try that again. I tell you what, the first step is going to be here and there. So just then 2 fingers at the top. So A, and then put this one here and this one here. Now you do that 10 times. First finger there, 2nd one there. So in step by step, now you want to try and, by the time you place this on here, you're placing the 2nd finger on. So by the time this finger's going down, your 2nd one's going down. Back to the A. Don't strum it to the top. And these together, making impact on the strings together. Rather than, we're not stacking it now. We want them to hit together. And to the A. Make an impact together on there. There you go. As soon as your fingers touch the strings, you want the strum to happen. You don't need to do that and then do that. Because ultimately, it'll be when the strum happens, the chord will just make the same impact. So now, we're going to put them 2 on, and then put your little finger here. Or your 2 fingers here. So there, from the A, we put them 2 on together because we've done that 10 times, and then these 2. Back to the A. So the top 2 are together now because you've practiced them for a while, and then these 2, or this one. Depends, they're both G chords. Okay, so now, when we go to G, we want to place them on, and then them 2 at the same time. So you can see how, really all I'm teaching you is a process. I'm not really teaching you the chords. I'm teaching the process because a lot of people say it's the strumming letting them down, but I think really it's the changes, because anyone can keep the hand constantly going like that. When this hand changes very slowly, this is where you get a pause in your strum and a change, and then you carry on. So that, I think it's more to do with the change the majority of the time. Okay, there's one more I'm going to have a look at, and that is a C to an F. So this F and this C are going to be hard if you just get into grips with the past 3 exercises we've done. This is a bit more advanced, but do you know what, it's essential because most songs have C and F in it, so there's no time like the present to just start tackling these chords. So you see, C starts with your first finger on the 2nd string up on the 1st fret. Let me just get a little counter so I can look at that there. 2nd finger's up there on the 4th string on the 2nd fret, and your 3rd one's on the 5th string on the 3rd fret. Now there's a little X at the top. The more advanced you get, you'll realise you can use this thumb to just cut that note off, and then you can be a bit free in your strumming. But do you know what, if you can hear that note by accident, don't worry about it. So strum from the 5th string. Hear that, you can hear every note, so I'm going to do it slow. Okay, so that's your F, C. This has gone to F. So you see your 1st and 3rd finger are in the same place, if you notice, if I go between them. So what's happening is your 2nd finger's going down to the 3rd string, and then your little finger's going below the 3rd finger. And you see there, you don't strum the top string as well. So from the 5th, so back to the C, you take off your little finger, you move your second finger up. It's actually a nice little change from a C to F. Watch my fingers. That looks like nothing. So F, C, F. It looks like my fingers are hardly even doing anything, and they're not. And a lot of people would play like this. So for a C to an F, a lot of people when they're beginning, they'll start the chord from scratch, when really two of the notes are similar, so I'll be keeping them there. So you put your little finger on, move your second finger down, you got an F. So you move your second finger up, and you take your little finger off, you got a C. So let's just do it step by step from the C to the F. So we'll start on the C. The first step's going to be moving your second finger down. Then the second step is your little finger on. So we'll start that again. First C, second finger down, then your fourth finger on. Okay, we're going to try and do this together now. So once you've done that 10 times, pause it now, do that 10 times. Move this down and your little finger on. They both impact the strings at the same time. So watch. I'm not pushed on this yet, so I'm not pushed on. When I push on, my little finger pushes on with it. So you got to coordinate your fingers to make that little move there. So C, coordinate them there together. They make impact together. So C, impact together. And that's basically the whole of that. There's no next step to that. In fact, this isn't an actual F chord, just to be technical on it. It's an F major 7. A full F chord, you've got to bar it, which is quite hard. So a lot of people just do an F major 7. It fits with most songs. So if someone's saying, that's an F major 7, it's not an F. Okay, it's not, but it's the best F for beginners to start to learn, and it sounds good. Okay, so from the F to get back to the C, you move your second finger up and your little off. So let's go back to the F. So second finger up, little finger off. 10 times, practice that. And then you want to move it up and take off your little finger at the same time. So let's do that again from the F. So move your second finger up, take your little finger off. So that it's both happening at the same time. So F to the C. And then the next move that we did before that would be then back to the F. Okay, so I hope that I have showed you a process more than just how to change from one chord to the other. So you've got to do it in one finger at a time, and then you add in the third finger a bit later. So if you go back through the video and master the four changes that I've done, then hopefully that'll have a overriding impact on your whole changing from every other chord. You can take the same process that I've done. Okay, hope that helps. Hope that's answered a few questions from people saying they're struggling changing. So thanks a lot. Bye.